Hey there, gang. Welcome to Varsity 360. Mark Coleman here from the Virginia Varsity Sports Network. This is our February 17th, 2014 installment where we look at the week's top stories in Fredericksburg area high school sports. Happy you found us here at Fredericksburg.com. Very pleased to be partnered with the wonderful team from the Freelance Star, including their sports department making up the FLS varsity team, focusing on area high school sports. The story this past week certainly has to be the weather. Snow has played havoc with area sports schedules, and it's really made for some challenging times around the FLS varsity sports desk. Appreciate the time from two of the very best writers from that team. Joining us here tonight, we have Nathan Warters and Taft Coghill Jr. Fellas, thanks for your time. Really appreciate seeing you.
Thanks for having us.
Good to see you, Mark.
Well, we are late February now, and this schedule with the weather has really played some havoc with some ADs and postseason tournaments, regional tournaments, maybe even bleeding over into the state tournaments. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I guess it happened like 4 years ago when they had those two really big storms. I mean, I'm hoping that region tournaments and state tournaments don't get affected by this. I know talking to some coaches about 3 weeks ago, they were like, yeah, we're praying that this is it, and here we go again. I just think it's, you know, if you're the praying type, you're praying, cross your fingers, whatever. Just hope that it doesn't happen again. You know? Well,
and we're recording this on Monday night. They're calling for more snow tonight. Make sure you wear your pajamas right side in. We don't want any more snow, nothing crazy like that, right?
Yeah.
Because they've got to go to school tomorrow, be able to get these conference tournaments underway.
Absolutely.
But, well, let's get started, and then let's take a look at the boys basketball. Conference 22 seems to be some exciting matchups there, some good parity. We should have some exciting games ahead of us.
Yeah, that's looking like it may be the most competitive of the conference tournaments, at least on the boys' side right now. I mean, King George is a team right now that nobody in that conference wants to play. I mean, they're riding an 8-game winning streak, and they've gotten a key player back in Daquan Whiting, who missed maybe the first 12 or so games of the year. They got him back. But while he was out, a lot of the younger guys were able to develop. And now you combine the two, and that's a pretty potent mix right there with King George.
Who are they going to be facing? Who are the biggest threats in that conference?
Well, right now, Chancellor's the #1 seed. I mean, Fauquier and Chancellor are playing tonight. If Fauquier wins that game, Chancellor has nothing to gain from the game. So if Fauquier was to win, they'll get the #2 seed. So either way, it's looking like a Fauquier-King George matchup in that second round. Okay.
What about other conferences? What piques your interest there?
I'm looking at Conference 15 for the girls. I think, I was talking to Massapona's coach, Adam Brown, a couple weeks ago, as they were kind of moving up the standings. That second seed was really important to them because they really want a shot at Potomac again. They lost by 1 to Potomac, and Potomac is the top seed in that conference tournament. So that could be a matchup that we see in the championship game or later on in that tournament. I would also look out for Mountain View. Mountain View's won 5 straight. They came off a win on Tuesday, then they had to wait and wait. And I talked to their coach on Thursday, I believe, and he wasn't happy about not being able to practice, which is what all these coaches are kind of fearing at this point. Not having practice time. Today, I think most schools, were able to get. I'm assuming most schools were able to get out and practice today in advance of this. So that could be a tournament that yields some pretty close results there.
How about 15 on the boys' side? You think that's going to be have some good games coming out of that one?
It looks like Potomac's the top seed, Mountain View's the second seed in that one. They played before, and Potomac won by 18. So Mountain, like I said before, Mountain View's got that point guard Lucas Brown who kind of makes them go. So they could get hot, and he could drive them to an upset. So that would be the matchup that I would look for there. Massapona's is right there in the mix too. They've got a real senior-laden team, so I wouldn't sell them short either. So that could be, especially the battle for the second and the third spot there. They do have a third place game for a third region spot, so that could be an interesting race as well.
Taft, how about on the girls' side? Anything other than Conference 15 in terms of postseason that you're excited to see?
I'm excited to see Conference 27. I mean, Spotsylvania, they've gotten off to a 5-0. Well, they finished 5-0 in conference play there, and just be interesting to see how far Courtney Simmons can carry that team in the postseason.
Super. We're looking forward to postseason basketball around the Fredericksburg area. Well, we have also entered the postseason for area wrestling, the 6A, 5A state tournament takes place this Friday at Robinson High School up in Fairfax. Colonial Forge sending 12 wrestlers to this state tournament. That's really an amazing number. Congratulations to the 12 kids from Forge making the wrestling state tournament. Meanwhile, the host Robinson will be sending 9 in that 6A region. The state championship looks like it's going to come down between Forge and Robinson, and the question is going to be the quantity that Forge sends, 12, versus the quality of the 9 that Robinson has. Keeping in mind the way the state tournament, the state team title is awarded, it's based on number of wins basically. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens on this this tournament on Friday. Stafford, meanwhile, they'll be sending 3 kids, including 2 champions from the 6A South. So exciting times in area wrestling for Fredericksburg, and good luck. Hope to see you guys out there at the state tournament, 5A, 6A state tournament on Friday. Let's turn our attention now to area swimming, and this is where we are going to find the Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week. He is a junior from Culpeper High School, Mason Isaias. What an outstanding week performance he had this past week, setting a school record in the 200 freestyle, minute 47:55 to win the title in the 3A East for Culpeper. He also finished 6th in the 50 freestyle. Pretty impressive performance there for Mason.
Yep.
Congratulations to Mason Isaias, the Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week. Meanwhile, a number of region tournaments in swimming for the area, and let's start with the 6A South. They met in Norfolk.
And Stafford, coming off that 3rd place showing in the conference meet, they come out, finished 4th in this meet. A really strong performance. I talked to their coach, John Raymond, last night. He was really, really pleased by the boys and the girls team. The girls had some really strong showings. Ryan Ulrich, Maggie Howell, Kara Sizemore all led the way for Stafford in that performance for them. And they're rearing to go for the state tournament. So good performance by Stafford.
Yeah, excellent. Stafford girls finishing 4th. Meanwhile, Colonial Forge girls was 6th. Cameron Curry with an impressive performance.
Strong meet for her. She finished 1st in the 100 freestyle and 3rd in the 200 individual medley. 6th for them. I know they're pleased with that, and they also had a strong showing at the conference meet. So another team that could probably do some damage there in the state meet there.
Congratulations to Cameron. She certainly was in the mix for the Athlete of the Week for the area. A couple of other area schools with performances in 6A. The Riverbend girls finished 9th, and the boys finished 9th as well, actually. Colonial Forge boys finishing 10th, and the Stafford boys finishing 11th. That was in the 6A South regional tournament. Well, the 4A North regional tournament took place this past week at George Mason, and King George with a pretty impressive performance on both boys and girls side.
Yeah, they finished 2nd on the boys side, 6th on the girls side. Really kind of picking up where they left off in their conference meet. The boys team got a lot of points from their relay teams. They finished 1st in the 400 relay, 2nd in the 200 medley relay, 2nd in the 200 free relay. Got some really good individual performances. Ricardo Bonilla Vasquez, he was on 2 of those relay teams, finished in the top 2 or 3 in 2 events as well. A really good showing by them on both sides. Cortland's boys finished 5th, led by Jonathan Penns, who won the 100 breaststroke, finished 2nd in the 50 free. Chancellor's boys were 8th, led by Max Hudak, who was 1st in the 100 backstroke. Eastern View 17th, despite 2 really big performances, 2 big wins by Owen Van Krimpen. He finished 1st in the 200 free, 1st in the 500 free. And then, on the girls' side, like I said, King George girls 6th. Their coach told me the other day that that was kind of unexpected for them because they don't have a lot of year-round swimmers, but it was just a really good overall team performance. Eastern View finished right behind them in 7th. Annie Boone had 2 wins, 1 in the 100 butterfly, 1 in the 100 backstroke. Chancellor girls were 10th. Cortland girls were 13th. So good showing by the local teams there in that meet.
Yeah. Some nice performances at the 3A East Regional Tournament as well. In Richmond, James Monroe with some impressive performances there.
Yeah, the boys meet, when their coach told me last night the scores, I think it's like 30 points separated 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So it was really hotly contested, and they had to do prelims and the finals yesterday all on the same day because of the weather delays. Stafford had to deal with that at the 6A region meet too, down in Norfolk. But both teams, the boys were third, the girls were fourth. On the boys' side, Brad Allison, Peter Stoffel both had really good meets. Matt Howard, Noah Holmes Foster. They had a lot of kids finish in the top 6, which is the state qualifying the range there. Nolan Butler on the girls' side, she won the 100 free and was second in the 200 free. So she had a really good performance. I also wanted to mention Maria Banky. She also had a really good, strong meet for JM. Culpeper's boys, obviously we mentioned Mason Azayas. They finished 11th. He broke that record that was alive for about 10 years. That was held by Ian DeToll. Beat it by 10 seconds. So good performance by him. And the Culpeper girls finished 10th.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fredericksburg Christian School FCS had a nice performance, nice recognition for their boys coach, head coach there, Nicole Kent, recognized as Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year by the Virginia Independent State Association there at the state tournament. Coach of the Year for the boys. They won the DAC title this year. I think it was the first time in 17, 18 years they've won that title. Finished 4th in their division in the state meet. So. A really good showing by them. I also wanted to mention St. Michael's Alec Moran. He finished 2nd in the 100 free and 4th in the 50 free. A really good individual performance by another local swimmer there at the Independent State meet. Yeah,
that's excellent. Impressive to see the number of quality swimmers there are in this area. Not something I'm very familiar with, but certainly something that we can be proud of.
Yeah, and we have a lot. The club scene is really growing in the area. We have a lot of year-round swimmers, and that's you're seeing that. You're seeing the fruits of all of that, and just a lot of year-round swimmers and a lot of just really talented kids. So it's really showing in the results.
Well, congratulations to all those kids and the schools that they represent moving on to the state tournament, and good luck there. Also, postseason time in gymnastics. Some big news, recent news, I guess, in the 6A South.
Yeah, Stafford today down in Virginia Beach at Bayside High School. Stafford always has a pretty strong tradition of gymnastics, and they took 2nd place there down there at Bayside. Naomi Jones came through with a really big performance in the vault, capturing 2nd place. Also, Ashley Hinton, who's also a standout track pole vaulter for Stafford. She took 5th in the balance beam. So.
Excellent. And then meanwhile, earlier this week, we had the 5A North regional meet. Mountain View finishing 5th and advancing to the state in that one.
Yeah, Mountain View, their coach was pretty upbeat about their performance there, and Emily Brewski took 2nd in the vault, and that made their coach pretty happy. So.
Excellent. So exciting times in gymnastics as well. We also have postseason track information to bring you up to speed on.
It's region meet time for track.
Right.
It's region meet time for everything, but I got a little bit of scheduling info. The 5A North track meet will be held Thursday in Landover, Maryland, and then we'll get the 6A South underway on Friday, and that'll be Friday and Saturday down in Hampton. And then the 4A North meet will be Saturday at there in Lynchburg. So we'll get the region season underway for track this weekend.
And hopefully the weather will be getting better so that those schedules won't be contingent on any kind of adjustments based on snow or ice or anything along those lines. Winter will be ending soon. Spring is on its way, right?
We hope so.
Well, and that's followed by summer and then fall. And guess what? We've got more football news to talk about. Louisa hired a head coach, not a new head coach, an old head coach, but back for a 2nd time.
Yeah, Mark Fisher made a surprise return there down to Louisa. He coached there from I think from 04 to 2010, and he went down to Myrtle Beach for 3 years. So he's decided to return and replace his former defensive coordinator John Meeks, who took the job at Brookville High School. So the community is really excited about getting Fisher back. He's a guy that took them to the 06 state championship game. So really, I heard it was standing room only in the press conference when they announced this return. So.
You know, that's really exciting. We were talking about it last week with the addition of other new faces or return of some faces to the area. We really have some impressive coaches, head coaches at the football level around this area. Something that the Fredericksburg area can be very pleased and proud of. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the guys who are back. You look at Tommy Buzzo coming back from, stepping down from a college position as a defensive coordinator, coming back to Brook Point. And you also look at guys like Fisher, who's been in state championship games. Lou Sorrentino's won state championships. Bill Brown's won state championships. Rich Survey. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. Just a great cast of coaches in this area.
And good guys, good teachers. They develop great kids. It's something the community should really be proud of.
Yeah, really good leaders, and I think Nathan has mentioned this before. A lot of those guys are, guys that could be principals or leaders in the school community, not just on the football field.
Right.
I think it says a lot about the talent, the structure in the area, the youth programs. That even when really good coaches leave, that just good coaches come in. I mean, and this is a gentleman who had a hand in the program there and the actual structure of the youth program. But it just says a lot. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the area, and there's a lot of really good programs leading up to the varsity program. So coaches really, I mean, if you offer somebody a job in this area, you'd be wise to snap it up.
Yeah, Buzzo, he mentioned that he was glad to come back to a place like Brook Point that has the infrastructure in place with the principal, the AD, and so forth and so on. Guys who are football guys who love the sport and will support their programs. So.
These kinds of things don't happen overnight, though. It really is it's a system. It's a process. It takes a couple of years often to develop the kids at the lower levels, and then you see the kids sort of be promoted out of that. And we've got some news actually from this past week as well. Some kids that are going to be graduating and have decided they're going to be playing football at the next level in the fall.
Yeah, a lot of guys, come signing day, we're sitting there wondering where are these guys going, because we had a lot of our really the high up all area type kids that were still kind of waiting to make their decisions. Right. Well, we've got some of those. Von Purvis at the top of that list. He was Player of the Year candidate, rushed for over 2,000 yards for North Stafford. He signed with UVA Wise this week, joining his teammate Andre Hamilton, wide receiver, defensive back there for North Stafford. Also, a couple kids from Mountain View, Quentin Gray, 1,000-yard wide receiver. I think he had 7 or 8 interceptions at defensive back for Mountain View last year. He signed with West Virginia State. And then tailback Gordon Collins, who was a threat pretty much every time he touched the ball, whether it was in the return game or running the football. He has walked on at University of Richmond, Division I program down there. So best of luck to those kids. Good opportunity for all of them, and good to see these kids move on and play at the next level.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful stories, and congratulations to them, and certainly wish them the very best of luck in the future. It speaks well of them, speaks well of their upbringing, speaks well of the coaching and the systems that they participated in, and that ultimately leads to even better things for the area. So it's good news all around. It's just exciting to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's installment of Varsity 360. Once again, certainly appreciate Nathan and Taft joining me here this week. You can follow Taft on Twitter. He is at Taft Coghill Jr. Is it Taft or T. Coghill Jr.? It's T. Coghill Jr. Follow him on Twitter. You can find him. Nathan is at Nathan Warters. You can also follow me. I am at Mark Coleman, V2SN. Certainly appreciate you keeping up with us. Looking forward to being back next week for the next installment of Varsity 360. For the Virginia Varsity Sports Network, I'm Mark Coleman. Thanks for watching, everyone.